Huge thanks to EA for sponsoring this video. Yes! Oh! Guys, Apex has totally changed. And I'm all about it. There is so much new stuff. Whoa, I've been a f***ing hoe. I've been playing so much Apex. I've been really excited. And there are loads of permanent new changes, which are just incredible. There's the new weapon, there's the new character, the new maps, and arena mode 3v3. And all of them are absolutely fresh, cool, new, just everything the game needed. I love how it's constantly changing, but this has been the biggest change I've ever seen. I was lucky enough to be part of the playtest, woo! And I just loved it. Loved it! Let's get chatting first about Valkyrie. She is a flight mode character. She kind of strikes me as more of a scout. She's a bitch. She kind of makes me think of a Sky Karen.
Can I speak to your manager?
And some of the skins really make me think if Marvel and K-pop had a love child, that this is what they'd create. She's gorgeous. I'm kind of digging it. She's got a very unique look to her, and it's awesome. Transformers, Karen in disguise. Her unique abilities are really great in the field. She has this rocket ability, which doesn't cause a lot of damage, and I think that's perfect because I wouldn't like any kind of Q ability to insta-down people. I think that would be OP, and they balance that really well by making it more of a stun ability. It does some damage. The first rocket will do a decent amount of damage, then any subsequent rockets that also hit you won't do as much by far, and I think that's just to temper it a little to make sure that you can't one-hit people with this ability. But it's still fantastic, and it's great for ambush. If you jump into the sky, stun everybody, keep them still for a few seconds, then your teammates can pick them off really easily.
Sending it home. You can have the ground. Eye on the sky.
She also has this amazing ability where she can gather all of her teammates and fly them up into the sky, much like a jump tower. And as she falls, she is able to pinpoint and highlight other characters in her view, other opponents and enemies, which is great. It doesn't work behind cover, it's not like Bloodhound's scan, but it's still incredibly useful, especially when you're dropping from the dropship, because it helps you to really get a fantastic idea of just how many people are dropping with you. And then on top of all of that, she has a flight ability, and flight mode is really interesting. It's balanced well. I kind of worried when I heard about this character, that she was either going to be really fast and impossible to hit and OP and gonna need a nerf, or that she was going to be incredibly slow and easy to pick off. And I kind of feel like she's on the noisy and slow side. You're not going to be able to stealth this character through the sky. Everyone in the vicinity is going to know about it when she's flying, but it's still really advantageous for getting into high ground, but you can also swip into weapon mode, and as you fall, you can still fire from a great height, which is still a great advantage, especially from people trying to outrun you. I feel like this is such a great counter for people like Octane. Bitch, anyone speedy who tries to make an escape isn't really going to be able to turn their back to Valkyrie very easily, and I love that about her. She is a great character for mobility. I can see a lot of people using her for quick rotations around the map, and she's an all-out well-balanced character, I think. I think they've crafted her very well, and you can see the amount of consideration they've put into building a fun, not too OP, but not too vulnerable character. Also, I noted that you can actually buy her official coat, the coat from her little intro video, which is a really nice touch, and it's a damn fine coat. So they've really thought this through, and they've seen that a lot of people are already loving Sky Karen, and I'm definitely one of those. You can count me as a Sky Karen fan. What you get? What you get?
A purple bow.
Oh, classy. I've got the bow.
When you get to hell, tell them Valkyrie sent you.
We also have the new weapon, the Bocek. I did have a lot of attempts at being a pro shooter with this bow, and eventually I started getting hits with it and it felt so good. I think it's worth practicing with, even if you aren't particularly accurate, because I have the bigger aim and I still managed to get some epic shots. But then I discovered the attachments, and you can scatter shot, which is beautiful because it basically turns into a caveman shotgun. And this means that you don't have to have fantastic aim to really enjoy and benefit from using this weapon. And the added perk is it's not very noisy at all, so it reduces the risk of third partying because people from a distance are not going to locate the battle quite as easily, or you and your position. It's really interesting because they've added these cute little touches, like where the arrows land in the walls, the quiver actually points in the direction the fire came from. So if you didn't initially see where people were shooting from, you get some clues by looking at your environment, and I thought that was a really nice touch.
That's a hell of a way to go.
The longer you pull the bow, the more damage it does. You can do quick fire shots at a short pace, but they don't do very much damage, around 30 damage. If you really pull it back and put a lot of effort into and wait for your opponent to come into view, you can do 70 damage, or even more if you manage to get lucky enough to get a headshot. And I got to say, these headshots feel incredibly good. So good. Oh! You don't find much ammo, but you don't need much ammo because it's such a high damage weapon. And it's silent but violent. I love everything about it. It took me so long to get good with it and to actually land hits, but it was worth it, and I really suggest you give it a go. The skins are gorgeous. I love the way it looks. And yeah, I can't recommend the gun enough. I'm really glad it's a beautiful addition to the game. Look at the arrow in her head. So we have 3 new maps for the arena mode, and they're gorgeous. One is pretty familiar, it's the artillery mode, which we've seen before. It's a small slice of a pre-existing map, but Party Crasher and Phaserunner are totally new and fresh and frankly beautiful. All of these new maps in arena mode are very small, so I feel like they're not too small, they're just small enough to keep the battle short and a decent pace, and because they're round based, I think that was a really good shout. In 3v3, what's so engaging about it is you have limited resources, it's high action, fast paced, and you have to be very, very careful with your damage because it's so hard to recover. There aren't very many healing items on these maps, and they're kind of expensive to buy with your points. So every little bit of damage counts, and it definitely feels very, very disheartening and terrifying when you're low on health, and very, very encouraging and emboldening when you know you've cracked somebody else. And things like craft points, which you use in the shops at the end of each round, are really well dispersed, and you kind of have to fight over them to gain an advantage, which I think is a really nice touch. Also, there are drops of loot, just like in the usual typical modes, but in this mode, these weapons, I don't think they're available in the shop. With the shop itself, I really, really loved so much about it. You have to think very, very hard about your role in my bedroom, or I'll smack. You have to think about your role very, very carefully when choosing what you're going to buy with your points. You get only just enough to buy a decent gun or a crappy gun and some healing stuff in the first round, and as the rounds progress you get more and more craft points, which can be boosted by craft crates that you find on the map itself, which you can collect whilst you're fighting and things, and fighting over them and securing them to get an edge in the next round is a nice little touch, and I definitely enjoyed thinking about the rounds ahead in that way. It's high pressure, it's high intensity, and it's a total game changer. Everything about it is compelling and addictive, and I was playing round after round after round. I also like the fact that you could lose twice in a 3 out of 3 match and still be able to turn it around, because they increase the amounts of rounds if you manage to get a win on the third, so you know, you don't feel like you're playing round after you've already lost and can't recover, which I think was a nice touch. The maps are beautiful, they're very engaging. I was getting quite distracted by them actually when I initially played, and yeah, I just love everything about it. I don't have a bad thing to say about it, I really don't. For those of you who don't know, I have Tourette syndrome. I was slightly triggered by the new Ash character, who is the AI who controls the arenas and gives some rather salty commentary along the way. She can be quite disparaging if you're losing and quite sternly encouraging if you're winning, but she has a cracked face, which triggered a very unfortunate tick of mine.
Hello, crackhead. Hello, crackhead. You've got a booger. Shut up, crackhead. Hello, crackhead. Nice chin.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope this has filled you in. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I don't often do these kind of videos, but I'm so excited about Apex. It's quickly becoming my favorite game. I was so excited to tell you about all of this. Let me know what you think of the new character in the comments section. Let me know if you're going to be trying the bow and what you think of it, and I will catch you in the next video.
Fuck off.
16 minutes in. Okay. Oh, it's weird because it's not make the build up feeling go away. Yeah, I don't feel like a deflated balloon at all. Like, the more I focus on not saying it, the more